Hello adventurers, and welcome to Skyrim Season 2. I'm pretty excited about playing Skyrim again. There's been a couple changes, and that's what this video is all about. As usual, I'm doing a little bit of an intro video. These big games like this, that are just games that you can play for dozens and dozens of hours or hundreds, I feel deserve a little bit of an intro video, especially ones like my Skyrim series, which is heavily modded and heavily role-played. I like to let you guys know what's going on a little bit. So this is Skyrim Season 2 intro video. There's no gameplay here. If you're not interested in knowing any of the changes to the series, or if you're not interested in knowing the mods that might be changing, then you can skip ahead to the first episode of Season 2, which should be up. This is for those of you who want to go and get as immersed into the series as I am when I play it. So I hope you guys will enjoy this and watch it, because there's a lot of insight in this video, I hope. To those of you who have been watching Skyrim since the beginning, I thank you very much for giving it so much support. Without a doubt, it's the series that has gained the most support on my channel, and I'm just in awe of how many people are watching it and enjoying it, and I'm just super happy because it's really fun to play, and I'm excited about the new season because I think a lot of changes are going to be for the better. So the first thing I want to talk about is the story in Season 2. Now Season 2, I called it Season 2 because it's got a lot of things that have been changed, but there may never be a Season 3. It may just be, you know, this is the change. There might be, I don't know. I don't have it all planned out or anything. One of the main things I want to change in Season 2 is a little bit more role-playing in terms of who Tristane is, how he got here, and what he was sort of doing before he came to Skyrim. So I want to introduce some more story elements and some more of his background into this series, and I'm going to be doing that in this Season 2. That's not going to be in every episode. I'm going to have designated episodes where I say to myself, it's not all planned out or anything, but I'll be like, you know, okay, this is going to be a good episode to introduce this aspect of his life, and things like that. The very first episode in Season 2 is going to be the first part of the episode, at least, is going to be sort of setting up the story, or setting up a story of his past that will, you know, have, I don't want to spoil anything, but it will have an influence in things that happen in future episodes. So the first episode of Season 2 is going to sort of set that up and give you guys some insight on his, on what his life was kind of like before he came to Skyrim. There's still going to be all, you know, all the new stuff happening. It's not going to be, I'm not using this series to tell a story exclusively. I still want to play the game as I have been, but I figured I could introduce a couple more story elements to keep things a little more interesting with the role-playing that I do. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that. The next thing I want to talk about is a lot of mod changes. Not a ton, but a couple of them that will probably be noticeable. Number one, I've replaced my ENB. I was using the Wilds for all of Season 1, and I really liked it, and I still think it's a great ENB, but the Wilds, in combination with my other settings, in combination with Climate of Tamriel, and playing on my TV that's just sort of, it makes the contrast higher than my regular monitor, so the blacks just look super dark. It was becoming impossible. It was becoming too much of a hassle to go into dungeons, caves, or even to wander around at night. And as you guys may or may not have noticed, I didn't really wander around at night at all in Season 1. Number one, because I do need to sleep with my mods, but number two, because I just couldn't see anything. And I remember even having trouble like setting up camp, and it was a real pain. So I decided to do a lot of tweaking on the lighting frontier of Skyrim, and I ended up going with this new ENB, which is called Project ENB, which is really popular, so I'm sure you guys who are into the mods and stuff and ENBs have heard about it. It's really great. It's I've noticed a little bit of flickering in the game. I don't remember if I had that before, and I don't know if it's due to the ENB, but it's not game breaking at all. But I just noticed it happens from time to time. But maybe it happened before too, I can't remember, it's been so long. But anyway, the Project ENB, it looks phenomenal. I'm using one of the presets. I've also turned up Climates of Tamriel. It was on the darkest night setting, now it's not. I can actually see at night, and I can see inside dungeons. A torch or a lantern still help. It doesn't defeat the purpose of those. But I can actually navigate my way around, which is really important because, you know, certain times I just want to be out at night or something, and I have that option now, and that's important, you know. So Tristan is not strictly stuck on a daily schedule where he can't do anything at night. So now that's going to be a little bit more interesting. We might be able to run into some foes at nighttime, and some interesting people come out at night. So that's going to be a lot of fun, and it's also going to open up the way for when I finally do become a werewolf or a vampire, because one of the reasons I was kind of putting it off was because I was wondering, how am I going to do this at night, you know? But with the new lighting, it's totally doable. On top of that, I've got the new mod. I tried it out before, but I ended up not using it on Season 1. But I got the new mod, Predator Vision. If you guys know about it, Predator Vision is basically, if you guys know what Predator is, which I hope you do, it gives you sort of the vision that the Predator has, which is sort of like a heat vision type thing, and it gives that to the werewolves and vampires. And you also get night vision as a werewolf, which is nice because I always thought, you know, why don't werewolves have this? So with that, in combination with just the nights being a little brighter and nicer, it's going to be really great. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait. I'm still a little undecided as to whether I want to do vampire or werewolf first. I tallied up the votes, the stuff that you guys left in the comments and private messages and stuff, and it's actually about pretty even. I think there was 1 or 2 in favor of vampire first, but it's pretty even. So unless I get a huge flow of new votes that are, you know, all in favor of one particular playstyle first, I may just go with wherever the story takes Tristan. You know, I could see certain elements that I could use in storytelling, and I may go with that rather than just doing it randomly. But be assured that I will be doing both. I'm very excited to do both transformations. Another mod change, I took out the diseased mod. The diseased mod was the one that basically when you got a disease you didn't know what it was, and you had to kind of do research to find out what it was and craft your own medicines. It was really cool, but there was some sort of bug in it. I kept getting brain rot, as I'm sure you guys noticed. It was just a pain in the butt. The most annoying part was just going up to everybody and everybody saying, "You look sick," or "You feeling alright?" It got annoying. So I uninstalled that, and maybe someday we'll try it out again, but for now I'm not using it. I've already done all the tests, and Skyrim seems to be running just fine with this new setup, so that's always good. I've also updated my Skyrim, so Skyrim is now updated. Last time I played Skyrim, so you guys that watched Season 1, Part 50, which I just put up a couple days ago, I filmed that in January. I recorded that in January, I should say. It's just been a crazy semester, so I haven't been able to edit episodes. That usually takes a while, and then produce them and upload them. So I just now finally got around to doing it. But I actually, when I was playing that, it was in January, so you know, there was that huge Skyrim update with the legendary skills and all that. Dragonborn came out, so now there's all that's been done. I have Dragonborn. I've always had Dawnguard. So everything's, like, my Skyrim is as up to date as it could get. I've updated all the mods that I'm using, including the unofficial patches, Frostfall, Skyrim Redone, which has some huge, not huge, but some substantial changes as well. So I'm excited to keep playing with that. I've also got a new mod called Knapsacks, just a very simple mod. It adds basically like leather backpacks to the game. It looks pretty cool. I think they look pretty lore friendly. A couple of fairly large changes. Number one, I uninstalled Tales of Lycanthropy, which was a werewolf mod that let you sort of have lunar transformations rather than just having a beast form power. And I installed Moonlight Tales instead. Now, Moonlight Tales I just recently found, and it's amazing. It's basically like Tales of Lycanthropy on steroids. You get the lunar transformations, but it's fully customizable. It's got an MCM. You can customize the skin of your werewolf. There's a custom werewolf transformation music when you transform. It's very cool. One of the biggest things for me is you can actually transform into a Werebear if you get the disease. Of course, you can get the disease now from NPC werewolves and werebears. They can contract the disease to you, which wasn't in the vanilla game. You can also get cured, so it's awesome. It's fully customizable. I highly recommend it if you're interested in playing a werewolf. Let's see, there was another piece of that mod that I wanted to talk about. It's got the lunar transformations, like I said. Oh, you can also change at what time you transform and the phases of the moons. It's really cool. You guys need to check it out. It's an awesome mod. I think it's gonna be really great. I can't wait to do Werewolf. Werewolf Tristane's gonna be fun. And Werebear, don't get me started on that. I love the idea of doing a Werebear Tristane. Another replacement for the mods, I uninstalled Deadly Dragons and instead installed Enhanced Mighty Dragons. This was a little bit of a struggle, and I may eventually install Deadly Dragons again, because there was really nothing wrong with Deadly Dragons. As a lot of you may have noticed, I was encountering dragons way too often, but I could have changed that in the MCM. I decided to try out a new mod though, just for kicks, a new dragon mod. This one's got a lot of praise as well. It's not quite as popular as Deadly Dragons, but it's got a lot of praise. It basically changes all the vanilla dragons in the game and gives them sort of named. They're all named dragons, but it's not like there's just one of them. You can encounter the same one, the same named dragons. It makes the dragons far more difficult with the settings I have currently. And as I level up and get stronger, I'm thinking about increasing the difficulty even further. From what I can tell, the dragon fights are going to be much tougher now, and they're a lot more rare now. I've increased the encounter time quite a bit, so I shouldn't be seeing a dragon every day or every other day the way it was. I'm guessing if I start running into like dragon nests and stuff, and like dragon mountains or whatever they're called, I can't remember right now. It's not shrines. I don't know. But you know, the mountain peaks with the dragons in them, that's still going to be there, but the random dragon encounters should be way lower, which I think is going to be a good balance, because I was seeing them way too often. It was getting boring fighting all the dragons, and frankly, I didn't find them to be that difficult. They killed me really easily, but I didn't find killing them to be that difficult. And now they've gotten a lot stronger with this mod. The battles are much more epic. They're much longer. And dragons can't be so easily beaten by giants or mammoths or things like that, or guards. So I'm pretty happy with this mod for now. To sort of complement it, I also got a mod called Run for Your Lives, and there was another one, but I can't remember the name. Anyway, Run for Your Lives, basically when you're in a town and you're attacked by a dragon, it makes it so that the NPCs won't fight, but will just run away. Run home, you know, hide. And the other mod that I got that's sort of like that, I can't remember the name, but it makes it so that when there's a vampire attack in town, the NPCs will run home. So hopefully this will prevent the NPCs from dying. I think I've also made them essential. I can't remember. Because again, I may want to use certain things in the storyline, and I feel like having them all get killed just wouldn't... I don't think it would be good for anyone, really. So yeah, so I think that was an option when I was installing Enhanced Mighty Dragons to make the NPCs essential, and I think I went along with it. Another sort of change is with the Skyrim Uncapper. The Skyrim Uncapper removes the level cap for your skills, And with the settings of Skyrim Redone, it basically makes it, instead of 100, the max is 300. With this new Skyrim update, once you reach level 100 of your skill, you can turn it legendary and get your perks back and start the skill at 15 again. So that's still in place, but it's optional. So I can reach 100, do that, or I can keep going up to 300 and then maybe do it then. So I can still level up my skills to 300, but now I also have the ability to reset them and get the perks back. So it kind of works really well there. And the last mod that I really want to talk about, because a lot of the other changes are very small and minuscule, I've installed a new mod that I'm trying out. I'm still a little on the fence about it because it does sort of change the game drastically. And the mod is called SM Essential Player. And what it does is basically make it so that you can't die. And that sounds like a cheat. Like, just even as I hear myself explain it. But what I like about it is basically the way it works is when you lose all your health, you fall to your knees and you gain an injury. And the injury is basically a debuff. Maybe it slows you down, less magicka regeneration, something like that. And if you lose all, and then you get back up after like 30 seconds. If you lose all your health again really quickly, then you become a ghost. And as a ghost, you have to wait, I think, like 30 seconds, and then you can return to your body. And you don't lose your items. You can make it so that you do lose your items, but I thought that would be a little ridiculous for this kind of, for a Let's Play, because you guys would probably, I die a lot, so you guys would probably just be watching me crafting my items over and over again for most, like every 2 episodes. So I have a setting where you keep your items. But what happens is every time you fall to your knees, whether you turn into a ghost or not, you lose, I think, 10% of your gold. So if you have 200 gold, that's 20 gold. If you have 2,000 gold, that's 200 gold that you lose. And I have that turned on. So there's actually a penalty for me dying. So there's an incentive not to die. But what I like about it is that it eliminates the need to constantly load the game when I die, because I can't remember what it was exactly. I think it was in Sarthal that I just kept dying, and it got really frustrating for me. And I personally don't think it would be that interesting for you guys to watch me having to load the game over and over again. So this is, I think for the purpose of the Let's Play it can work. Is it kind of like cheating? I guess maybe. I don't know. I'm still on the fence about it. I really like it. I think it's an awesome mod. I'm just still a little on the fence about it, because now I can't die of exposure from the cold, and I can't die from not eating, or not drinking rather. I still get all the debuffs, so there's still plenty of incentive not to do it, and I never really let myself get that far down the road and to the point where I'm freezing or dehydrated completely anyway. But I don't know, I'd really like to hear your guys' thoughts on it. Watch a couple of episodes, because for the first few episodes I have it on, and tell me what you think. Tell me if you think it works, because the good thing is that I still have a penalty, so I have incentive not to die because I lose all my money eventually. And the more money you have, the more money you lose. So, there's definitely incentive not to die. And another good thing is that you don't have to watch me replay things just because I forgot to save right before the battle, and then I have to go all the way back to, Rorikstead, and I have to run back. So I think it's a mod that I'd like to keep, but I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on it. So that's probably the biggest change. And the other thing I just want to mention is, all this new stuff happening and all this new talk about like me sort of integrating a deeper story into this. The gameplay's still going to be the same. There's still going to be a huge emphasis on exploration, on Tristane becoming this sort of great warrior and mage, and maybe even thief in the future. Who knows? I may or may not have some plans for him in the Department of Injustice. So we'll see. And there's still the role playing that's still all there. It's just a new season with new adventures and a lot of new fun things to do. And the last thing I want to talk about is one more change that I'm doing, and this isn't mod related, but just a change that was suggested by a viewer, and I thought that's a pretty cool idea, is from now on, if I want to get a pelt from an animal, any animal, I need to have a hunting knife. No other knife will do. With a dagger, I can get the meat to eat the animal, but I can't get the pelt. If I want the pelt, I need a hunting knife. I need to craft myself a hunting knife. The big mammals, I probably need a sword, you know, so any kind of sword, like a mammoth or something. The other change to skinning is whenever I skin one animal or a group of animals in the same area, I have to wait. It takes me a while to skin them, so like if it's a couple of wolves, that'll take an hour. If it's like a mammoth, that'll take 2 hours. To get the scales and bones of a dragon, that might take 2 hours too, you know? So that's going to be a change. I'm going to be sort of in a place where, do I really have time? You know, maybe it's getting dark and I need to gather firewood. Do I really have time to stop and skin this wolf right now? Is it really worth taking the risk? So I thought that might add a little flavor to the game. And the other change is now, from now on, when I eat food, I also have to kind of take that into account. So when I have breakfast, lunch, or dinner, I need to kind of wait an hour, you know. And the hour is going to encompass the cooking of the meal and the eating of the meal. So if I cook it on the spot and eat it, that's still 1 hour. If I don't need to cook it and I just eat it, that's an hour. So yeah, I didn't want to take 2 hours for cooking and eating because I thought that would be too long. So I'll be doing that. For drinking, I can still do that without waiting. So I just thought it might be a little interesting addition to the role-playing, because it would add a little bit more scheduling to his Tristan's life. And certain things like snacks and stuff, like an apple, I wouldn't wait an hour. But you know, if you've got like a meal, you know, it's at my discretion. But it's not really like it's mostly just like a little addition to the roleplay, like a little seasoning to the roleplay. So hopefully you guys will enjoy it. And if you watched this video all the way through, thank you. And I hope you enjoyed it and that it gave you some insight on some of the new things happening in Skyrim. So next up, go watch that first episode of Season 2. And I really hope you guys enjoy it. I'm putting a lot of work into this season. And there's a lot of fun to be had, I think. So I'm very excited, and let's get started.